Welcome to Transforming Assessment, our island in Second Life, where we're looking at different examples of how we can set assessment tasks for students within Second Life. In this particular case, we're looking at the quiz chair, which is part of the Sloodle set. In this case, we have some instructions here on the wall for you, so you can read through those instructions when you come and visit the island yourself. We have the chairs here, and you can see this is from the Sloodle 1.1 set quiz chair. We've put in an extra feature here where if we left click on here, we can access an external web page, which is where students can find additional information. We won't look at that for this particular example, we'll just look at the quiz chair itself. And to sit on the quiz chair, we right click and we go to sit here. And once we do that, the quiz starts. Now this is linking to our Moodle website where the questions are actually built using the Moodle quiz tool. What we've also done here is provided for students some information on the wall. The information that we've provided here can be related to the questions that you're asking inside your Sloodle set. In this case, this is biology, so we can have some biology example questions here. The questions that we can ask students can either be multiple choice, true, false, or in this case, numeric questions. So this question is actually asking students to do a calculation. We could provide information for the students about how they would go about doing that calculation. In this case, we can go through the different slides that we have in this slideshow, and the students could be looking at that and also looking at the external website. In terms of the calculation that we would like students to be able to do, that's in the external website using a tool. So this is again an example of linking tool-assisted assessment with items inside Second Life and also linking that to information that we can provide students. In this case, question 1 is referring to glycans or building sugar units. We can have a slide here in front of the students to show them how they can use the tool. This is just a screenshot from the actual tool that they would use, which happens to be a Java applet, where they can build a oligosaccharide, and they can do, and the tool shows them the calculation for the molecular weight for that. So down here on the left hand side, the student would then enter their response. I'm just putting in an arbitrary one here, and the students would then get feedback on that about whether that was correct or incorrect, and you can see in this case that it's incorrect. And then it's moving on to the second question, which is asking me about electrocardiograms, which is on the external website. We've got a tool which allows students to interrogate an electrocardiogram. And once again, students could be provided with information on the slideshow that we have here, and that information can then relate to how they go about answering the question. So what this segment is really showing is how we can mix the different methodologies and different tools that are available to us in the online environment to be able to set reasonably sophisticated tasks for students to be able to do. We can provide information, we can provide tools, and we can ask them a fairly sophisticated question. For the purposes of what we're doing here, we've just set this up with very simple examples, but you can see that by mixing these different tools, we can provide very complex situations for students, which means that we can then ask much more complicated questions, much more probing questions, questions that rely on quite deep concepts. So in this case, I'll just complete this by entering an arbitrary number just so that we can finish this particular quiz.